that film we did last year in the Fiat 500. A car that I quite liked, but it wasn't quite my cup of tea. It's very cool, very youthful, very stylish. But I felt it needed to be just a little bit better. Well, I've got an answer for that. And before you go there, I promise you, this isn't the same car. The only way I know to improve a Fiat is to put it in the hands of Abarth. See, Abarth have been around since 1949, making great things better. They have worked with Lancia, Porsche, Simca, Ferrari, even Lambretta to improve an already brilliant product. Abarth were really good at hill climbs and rallies in the 60s and 70s. In 1971, Fiat bought them because they recognised that Fiat needed a little bit of extra spice. They were dormant for a long time, but they were then re-energised in 2007. And everything Abarth has turned out in the last decade has just been mental. To give you an idea of the culture of this car, the Abarth 500 is the official car of the Gumball Rally. So in terms of specs, what are you getting that's a little bit more special than perhaps you'd find in a normal Fiat 500? Climate control with a pollen filter, that's particularly impressive. Rear parking sensors, Bluetooth with voice activation, which I won't try because I'm an idiot. There's also a hill holder, and my favourite gadget of all, a USB port. Yes, I can plug any music player I want into it. But what's really impressive is the power. This is a 500, for goodness sake. This is an Abarth 500, and yet it doesn't feel like one at all. See, that Fiat 500 we drove last year, that was cute, that was cuddly. This isn't. This is a pocket missile. When you put your foot on the throttle, it is like being chucked out of a catapult. Whee! This is maximising all the things that are great about the Fiat 500 and going, hang on a minute, it can be better. It can be so much better. And this really is better than the Fiat 500 in every respect. Oh, such power and pace and energy from such a tiny little car. And the thing I love about this car in particular is that it's the 5-speed manual version. They do a semi-automatic of this. But with a car like the Abarth 500, I think it just spoils it. You can't go semi-auto. You've got to be the one in control of the gear changes. It's better that it's a manual. But get this. 0 to 60, 8.1 seconds. And we've just done it. That's unbelievable. From a mobile handbag, 0 to 60 in 8.1 seconds. You've got to be impressed by that. I'm sorry, you've got to be impressed by that. That is just remarkable. And it does a top speed of, wait for it, 128 miles an hour. From a 500! Oh, I've fallen head over heels in love with everything Abarth has ever made, ever, just based on this car. And it's gained quite a notoriety amongst not only female but male owners. Yes, you get very sexy, very cool people like Melanie Sykes and Margot Robbie driving these cars. But also JK, lead singer from Jamiroquai, Jay Leno, enough said, Chris Evans, Top Gear host, and Michael Schumacher himself. But not only are they owners, so too is Clint Eastwood. Yup, any car that's good enough for Clint Eastwood is good enough for me. But with a car that's that powerful and that over the top and that bonkers, you'd imagine that it would be a little bit thirsty. Well, if you're pushing it, then obviously, yes, it will be. But not only is that 1.4 litre turbocharged intercooled engine designed for speed, it's also designed for efficiency. So if you don't want to be trousers on fire, throwing it through every corner, you just want a decent, comfortable drive, you're catered for that as well. From all of this madness and chaos comes a car that will do 48.7 miles to the gallon. Where did that come from? How did they manage to get this little car to do all of the mad things it does and be sensible at the same time? Wow! This can then be a car for two types of people. You can be the hot young filly or the ravishingly attractive young male out on the pull. You can be that person in this car and you will turn heads. But you can also be a very sensible person who wants to save money but occasionally have a little bit of fun. See, basically what Abarth have actually achieved with this car is to completely change everything about it and yet keep it the same sort of style. This is now the kind of car I would want to buy. It just doesn't feel anything like the Fiat 500. That was a bit clunky. That was a bit, not playful, but you had to give it allowances for being a small, tiny little car. You expected it to be a bit drab, a bit average, but you allowed it that because of its style, because of its coolness. This gives you all of that style and coolness, and then throw something extra into the mix. Performance! Yeah, baby! This might be the most fun Fiat in human history.
And then there's the styling. Remember the first time you saw Cameron Diaz in The Mask? It kind of feels a bit like that looking at this thing.
Such speed and such grip and such awe-inspiring sophistication. Shouldn't be allowed all in one car. Certainly not one as small as this. It's amazing fun. It's a great little mover. And in terms of gadgetry and performance, everything that was lacking in the original Fiat 500 has been more than made up for with the Abarth. This is a joy to drive. There's not many cars where every single corner, every single movement of the throttle, every single gear change fills you with exuberant pleasure. This is one of those cars. I wasn't too sure if I'd like this. I've had a few people tell me the Abarth 500 is way better than the Fiat 500, and I couldn't really think in my mind how you can improve something that well when it's that easygoing. But I stand corrected. I am quite happy to concede that I was wrong. This car is just formidable. And I haven't used that word for a long time. Second gear up into third. This thing is just playing with me. Come on, let's go play fetch. Come on. You put your foot down, I'll get after that stick. Oh, I like it a lot, this thing. So much fun. So on a good day when I'm feeling flush, I can whack fuel in the tank and go gung-ho. And if I'm feeling cautious, I can still cruise. But in terms of the experience, I'm gonna have a lot of fun either way. Oh, what a car. This is the smallest, sexiest fun car on the road. One of the very best. It might be the best small car ever made. There, I said it. It might be the best small car that's ever been made, and I never want to get out of it. Can we not sell this one? Just give it to me. Just give it to me. Hands off. Hands off the Abarth 500. You can't have it. It's mine. So what's the moral of this story? Well, you can have a really, really good car, But if you want to make it better, send it to Abarth.